now available in paperback and e-readers. Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door takes on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess featuring a bonus pin-up and the other 2 books in the Cyber Goddess saga at online bookstores everywhere today. Janet Hubert, the woman who played Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, became the latest celebrity to jump on the Bill Cosby bashing bandwagon. Now, when your Felicia Rashad went on Twitter yesterday to drop a tweet in support of Bill Cosby's prison release, your Janice Hubert quickly came out to attack your Felicia Rashad in a tweet where she told her that she didn't know what she was thinking. In this tweet, she stated, "Felicia, what are you thinking? I don't know you but to say that this was terribly wrong. Everyone knew what he was doing back then. How could you not? Get your umbrella, sister, because here comes the shit shower. I am outraged that he has been released. Yes, he is an old-ass guilty man." So when I take a critical examination of your Janet Hubert statement, it clearly shows that she's out here bootlicking and bojangling for them butter biscuits, because she's making these claims that people knew what he was doing. But if all of those people knew what Bill Cosby was doing, as she alleges, then why didn't any of those people go to the prosecutor's office in California, and why didn't they go to the police in California? That's the critical question I want to ask your Janet Hubert. If you all knew what he was allegedly doing, then why didn't any of you go to the police back then? And that's what there tells me that she is not doing nothing more than the same bootlicking that your Jaleel White and many other black celebrities have been doing, trying to go out here and win the favor of these leftists in Hollywood, and hopefully trying to get themselves to secure another job, because it looks like it's becoming a rite of passage for these buck-dancing, bootlicking celebrities to go out here and bash Bill Cosby, because by doing so, this makes it where these white leftists in Hollywood can feel secure about employing these actors, because they know that these slaves will go out here and do what they tell them to do. But to go out here and stand like Felicia Rashad has at the side of Bill Cosby, that's considered to be the wrong thing to do. Now, I don't see where your Felicia Rashad did anything wrong by standing up and standing by Bill Cosby's side and saying that she was happy that he was freed, because a terrible miscarriage of justice was corrected, because Bill Cosby was railroaded through the criminal justice system by a malicious prosecutor, and this malicious prosecutor went out here and violated the agreement that Bill Cosby had with a previous prosecutor. And he did so with malice aforethought, and this was shown when he ran his campaign for the district attorney. And again, that's not what any district attorney does, because a district attorney knows that they represent the state, they represent the state's interests, and their job is to go into any case with objectivity and try the case based on the facts, not on their feelings, the way Kevin Steele went out here and tried this case, because that's where the miscarriage of justice was, and that's where we saw a complete violation of ethics. But because your Janet Hubert is still so loyal to white supremacy, she cannot see how this prosecution of Bill Cosby is a complete violation of his constitutional rights, and is so caught up in trying to get those butter biscuits that she would literally want to throw Bill Cosby under the bus at this last minute by attacking your Felicia Rashad. And she wanted to go out here and talk about how your Felicia Rashad was being insensitive to survivors of sexual assault, but it was not in any way, shape, or form insensitive to survivors of sexual assault. Now, your Bill Cosby, again, he was railroaded through the criminal justice system. And how does that help any survivor of sexual assault? Is it justice when an innocent man is put through the criminal justice system for a crime he did not commit? That's a critical question I want to ask Janet Hubert. I mean, if this man is supposed to be going through the court system, then he's supposed to have a fair trial and he's supposed to get his day in court. And your Bill Cosby was denied a fair trial by your Kevin Steele, who went out of his way to go out here and one, he used a deposition that he was not supposed to use to go out here and as testimony, and violating Bill Cosby's Fifth Amendment rights, and then he tried to go out here and circumvent the due process under the law by manipulating the facts of the case. And he also went on, and the judge went on to, again, participate in numerous judicial errors. So how is this helping survivors of sexual assault, going out here and railroading an innocent man for a crime he did not commit? Again, critical question I want to ask your Janet Hubert, because this is not really, going out here and bashing Bill Cosby does not really stop sexual assault, and it does not really go out here and help sexual assault victims. No, helping sexual assault victims is about getting them justice based on the facts of the evidence and letting cases go to trial based on due process under the law. But your black celebrities, like your Janet Hubert, they're not concerned with the laws of our Constitution because they want to be slaves on a plantation. And when I look at many of these black celebrities, I really see how they have just totally disrespected our elder, Mr. Cosby, and they are, again, more loyal to white supremacy than the man who stood up to go out here and kick open doors, because if it wasn't for Mr. Cosby, many of these individuals would not be working right now. Because if it wasn't for Bill Cosby going out here and demanding black stuntmen, we wouldn't have a black stuntmen's union. If it wasn't for him financing Melvin Van Peebles and giving him the last $50,000 to finish Sweet Sweetback Song, we would not have any black film industry right now, because that film opened the door for every other production out here. I mean, every black actor and every black screenwriter, every black producer, everybody should be grateful to Bill Cosby, because if it wasn't for him helping out Melvin Van Peebles, you wouldn't have a job right now. But many of these bootlicks, they are just, again, thinking that their crumbs come from a white slave master's table in Hollywood, and instead of standing up for the man who opened the door for all of them to work, they go out here and work against him. And they go out here and attack women like Felicia Rashad, who is standing up for an innocent man and standing up for justice, because I don't believe these allegations that many of these women are making. Now, your Hubert goes on to say in an article, oh, she knows 5 women who have not come forward. Well, if those women had something happen to them, why did they not go to the police? Because again, if this is the case that he is this sexual predator that everyone alleges and everybody knew it, then these people are just as complicit, because you are allowing this to go on. If this man participated in these crimes as you allege, then you should have gone out here to the police and filed a police report, because your Bill Cosby was not that powerful or that influential when you compare him to people like Sumner Redstone, or people out here who can go out here and get films greenlit by just their word. I mean, Bill Cosby, yes, he has a lot of money, but he was not that influential. So I look at the whole case like many of these women are making allegations against Bill Cosby, and I have to say, if this happened again during like many people allege, during the dark days of Jim Crow in the late 1960s and 1970s, because Jim Crow went on all the way until about the late 70s, where black people were still getting lynched. And there were still policies on the books that if a white woman was allegedly assaulted by a black man sexually, they would come down with the full force of the law. But in the case of Bill Cosby, we didn't see that happen because nothing really happened. Because again, if something happened to a white woman, as many of these white women allege, somebody would have called the police, and Bill Cosby, who was not a known name at the time in the late 60s, when some of these women said that this went on in the early 70s, he would have been on the 6 o'clock news as the brute of the week, and that would have been the end of Bill Cosby's career right there. But the many of these women did not, especially these white women, didn't come out to speak against Bill Cosby, and that's where I have it say that their things are suspect. Now, I read a Facebook meme that said that Bill Cosby was being on Richard Nixon's enemies list and being watched by the FBI. And again, if that was the case, like in the case of Michael Jackson, you would have thought that many of these individuals in the government, again, knowing this was going on with Bill Cosby, would have used this against him back in the 70s. But that wasn't the case, because Bill Cosby went on to go out here and do Fat Albert, do The Cosby Show, and went on to become America's dad. And if he's on the list of Richard Nixon as an enemy and being watched by the FBI, as this meme alleges, then why was he able to go on and participate in these alleged crimes? Again, a critical question that I want to ask your Janet Hubert and many of the black celebrities who want to go out here and talk bad about Bill Cosby and want to go out here and get these butter biscuits and crumbs of butter biscuits from their slave masters. It seems like all of these people, they want to go out here and talk about Bill Cosby, but what I find to be interesting is the silence that has gone on as related to the sexually deviant Allison Mack, who basically got 3 years in prison for participating in the NXIVM sex cult. I mean, the mainstream media goes out here and puts on a frenzy for Bill Cosby, and these black celebrities go on to pile on with Bill Cosby, but the little white innocent girl Allison Mack, she gets 3 years in prison for participating in a sex cult, and there's nothing but silence from your mainstream media. And again, that shows the racial double standard as related to black and white and your sex crimes. Nobody wants to talk about Allison Mack and her participating in sexual deviancy, but people continue to try to jump on the Bill Cosby bashing bandwagon in order to get their crumbs from the master's table. Well, looking at black Hollywood, it doesn't look like your black Hollywood celebrities are very grateful to the man who opened the door for them to have careers, and they have shown him nothing but contempt over the last 2 to 3 years. And many of these people really, again, showed who they're really loyal to, and that's the sad part about this whole thing, is that we see that many of your black celebrities in Hollywood are really loyal to white supremacy, and they would rather be slaves on the Hollywood plantation for leftists instead of standing up for a man who opened doors for them. And many of these people, again, they don't really appreciate all the hard work that Bill Cosby did standing up for them, because if it wasn't for the Cosby Show, Janet Hubert wouldn't be on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and she wouldn't have had a good run on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was basically another one of those shows that was designed to copy The Cosby Show in an effort to capitalize on its success. So she wants to go out here and talk about how he's an old, guilty man. Well, that old man who alleged was guilty was proven in a court of law to be not guilty based on the evidence, and the whole thing was this trial was designed to railroad him. But what your Janet Hubert doesn't understand, and many of the other bootlicks like Jaleel White and many others don't understand, is that these same laws that they're trying to railroad Bill Cosby can be used on them. And that's what they're not really thinking about critically as related to Bill Cosby. They're not really understanding that many of these same laws that these people are trying to manipulate, and many of these efforts that they're trying to make to railroad Bill Cosby can be used on them. And they don't really understand that that by putting these seeds to bash Bill Cosby, they may reap a bitter harvest sooner rather than later. Now, this video will probably not be monetized, so if you could donate to the Cash App, you will be greatly appreciated. And if you could go out here and pick up some of the books on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the East Dean series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, that would also be greatly appreciated as well. And that's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, ISIS, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.